Welcome back to Adobe Photoshop. So in the comment sections the other day, I had somebody ask me a question about removing the background or making the background completely white in a pencil drawing. And the answer is not as easy as most people think it could be. Today, I'm going to run you through the process of removing the background to make it completely white in a pencil drawing. This can also be used for a variety of other things. So I make a lot of shirts for my business called T-Lab Designs, where I just want the image and I want to drop everything else out of it. And I use basically the same process to do this. So let's slide on over to Adobe Photoshop and I'll show you the process of doing this. And there's a couple different ways you could go about it, depending on the quality you want to achieve in the background removal. All right, we are in Adobe Photoshop and this is the image I have. It's a pencil drawing. And a lot of times pencil drawings in the backgrounds have kind of a subtle texture and color to them. And so I'm guessing that this person wants to remove that and just make this perfectly clean and white. So there's a couple ways to do this. The easy ways don't work perfectly. The main way that I'm going to show you is a little bit time consuming because the way Photoshop works with mathematical algorithms makes it easy to drop certain areas, but it doesn't always work perfectly with every single image. And remember, depending on your pencil drawing, this is going to work exactly the same, or you might have to vary it. This is where understanding how to use Photoshop makes a big difference. So what they were trying to do was simply just use the curves or levels and brighten it up. And you can see it brightens this area and makes it white, but you also lose the other areas. And so that simply just doesn't work. So what we're going to do is the first way, which is a simple way. And so what we're going to do here is we have our original background layer over here on the far right. And this is our image. You could simply come over here to the contextual taskbar, hit select subject. Okay. It's going to automatically make a selection. And once it makes that selection, you're going to do something a little bit weird. So we're going to come over here. We're going to click on this. It isn't up here. You want solid color. And for our solid color, we want all Fs. That's perfectly pure white. Don't worry that it looks funky. Right now, it's inverted or made perfectly white, the area that we don't want white. We want the opposite. So it's really easy to fix. You need to make sure that you select the mask over here in layers. And I'm just going to hit Command or Control I, which is invert, and boom, just like that. It's inverted that area and made this area perfectly white. Now, how well this works is dependent on the selection that it made. So we have a pretty solid line that it was able to define. It did miss some areas over here. You could go in and refine that selection when you made it in something like selected mask. Okay, there's also another way to do this. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. Hey, if you haven't heard, I have started a new business called T-Lab Designs, where we create custom designs for t-shirts. We have a photography collection as well as a whole bunch of other really cool designs. If you'd like to take a look at tlabdesigns.com. I will have the link in the description below. And for all first-time purchasers, just hang out on the website for a few seconds and a little wheel will pop up. You can spin that and try to win a discount of up to 20% off your first purchase. So the next method is going to give you similar results. It's going to give you a lot more control. And this is exactly what I use a lot of times when I'm dropping areas. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to create a white background again. So we're going to go solid color. We want white. And I want to drag this below the background layer. The problem with this is if I try to drag this below, it won't let me do that because the background layer is locked. So we're going to unlock that. Okay. So we're going to put the white layer below it. We don't see anything at this point. And then we're going to come here to this layer and we're going to go out here in this space. And we're just going to double left click. That's going to bring up layer style. You could also come up here. You're going to go up to layer and you're going to lock down to layer style and then blending options. And that's going to bring up this same thing. And what we want to take a look at is blend if. So we have the current layer, which is this layer, and the underlying layer, which is this. So if we take these little sliders, notice that this is white, is black. So we want to take the whites and remove them. So you can see as I move this to the left, it starts to take those bright areas and drop them. And since white is below it, that's what we're seeing. Now, the problem with this is it's removing all the white areas. And this is one of the issues with Photoshop. It's really good at removing this stuff, but it always does it in all these different locations. So the issue here is it's doing basically the same thing that we did before, but you're going to have more control. This control can be good or bad. So right here where we see this, there's this little triangle and I'm sliding it over. And as I slide it over, it's removing more areas. So I just want to look until it starts to just remove those white areas. We have some little specks that are in the paper and some areas over here that don't look so good. We're going to go until this area disappears. Don't worry, we're going to bring this back. We have this triangle. If we hold the Option or Alt key, so it's Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, we can split this. And what this does is allows you to make a smoother selection. Okay, so it's not quite as harsh when you do it. So we're going to leave that there. That looks good. And then we're going to hit OK. Now the issue here is it's removed these areas. So what we need to do is apply and put them back. So to bring this area back, normally when I do this, I would have already created a duplicate layer of layer 0 here, but it gets too confusing. So I'm going to hit Command or Control J with layer 0 selected. And that's just simply going to duplicate that layer. And on the bottom version of it, I want to go back into that layer style and I want to remove it. So we want this to be normal. Okay. So we're just saying, hey, we want that to be normal. We're going to hit OK. Now what we need to do next is on the bottom layer, which is layer 0 right here, we need to put a mask on this layer. Then we're going to take the quick key, Command or Control I to invert it. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to change this to black. All right. You can also do this. So if we go back in time, if you want to make that mask black instead of white, when you click this little mask icon, you can hold your Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and it makes a black mask. Okay. So we're not seeing this layer here at all. And then what we want to do is make sure that our foreground color is white and we're using a brush and we're going to come in here and apply it. And what this is going to allow us to do is to paint that original color of the bear back in so that this is a drawing, but the white that we're losing out here is been removed. And when you do this, the more exact you are, the better this is going to look. If you look at my mask right now, it's sort of a soft brush. So if I make my brush a little bit harder, it's going to give me a harder edge and let me be a little bit more accurate. Now, I'm not going to come in here and do a perfect job for this because I don't want to waste the time doing it. But I'm just coming back and I'm applying that original color or texture. So in a sense, we're not touching this area, but we're removing this area. Now, in this top area, I'm going to create a blank layer because we still have those little specks here. Now, with the brush selected in the color white in that blank layer, we can simply just take our brush and go into any area that we see little specks and remove those. Okay. So I'm just going through the image and removing anything that I see. Some of these are spots on my screen. I can't tell if they work. So blending modes don't really work so well in this. This gives you a little bit more control over an image when you do it this way versus making the selection. So you're really just simply going to need to decide how much time do I want to spend on this and how accurate does this selection make. But this is the process of doing this. And when you're doing this, notice we did a color fill here of white. I'm going to actually switch this to a gray. And you can see how funky it looks, okay? This is partially because I did a horrible job of painting in that mask there. But if you're using a different color other than white, you have to be more accurate with the process here in the if-then. And you can see as I adjust this, I can really kind of control what we see and don't see. But when you're using white, this just makes it a lot easier. because you don't notice all those weird things that pop up in the image. So that's the process of dropping out the background in a pencil drawing and then making sure that you don't lose it. Hey, if you want to lose the whites in the white areas, you don't need to apply them and paint them back in. Obviously, I didn't do a great job when I did this, so I could make a big white brush here and come in and just kind of paint that in so our mask is more accurate. And that's it. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those below. Don't forget to subscribe and have an absolutely wonderful day.